In the last few years, one word has dominated the car industry. EV. Every new launch, every discussion, every future plan revolves around electric vehicles. Because of this, many people have come to believe that there's nothing else left. On the other hand, Honda is doing something big behind the scenes, something that even China and Elon Musk don't know about. Honda has developed an engine that doesn't directly try to compete with EVs, but instead offers a different alternative. The company believes that batteries aren't the only solution to every problem. Now, imagine if there was a technology that eliminated the need for refueling with petrol, the wait for charging, and made everyday use easier. Would people be able to ignore it? This isn't a shocking claim, but the beginning of a different path. The rest of the story will explain what Honda is thinking and how this thinking could impact the world of cars in the future. What technology has Honda used in this engine that has made it a topic of discussion in the EV market? Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel so that you receive such tech updates first. Before we talk about Honda's current technology, it's important to understand the man from whom this idea originated. Sohiro Honda wasn't a businessman who sat in a big office or wore suits. He was a man whose hands were mostly covered in grease and oil. He was born in 1906, and from childhood his world revolved around tools, iron and machines, as his father was a blacksmith, fixing bicycles, dismantling and assembling engines, and figuring out how to make things faster. That was his real passion. From the beginning, he felt that machines weren't just meant to run. They should have a soul. Interestingly, he didn't start with luxury cars or big motorcycles. His first step was to manufacture piston rings, a small engine part that most people wouldn't even notice. In 1937, he started a small company called Tokayaki to supply these parts to Toyota. Life wasn't easy. Then World War II broke out. Bombs fell on the factory and everything was destroyed. But the story didn't end there. After the war, Japan was in a terrible state. There was a severe fuel shortage and people needed affordable transportation. In 1946, Soichiro Honda came up with a very simple yet ingenious idea. He attached surplus military generator engines to bicycles. They weren't perfect to look at, but they served their purpose. This is where the real Honda story began. In 1948, the Honda Motor Company was founded, and the company took off with that simple motorized bicycle. In a short time, Honda motorcycles started winning races, breaking records, and the world began to understand that Japan could not only copy, but also build strong and reliable machines. Honda then entered the world of cars, but their approach was unlike that of other companies. They didn't simply build a body and fit an engine underneath. It was more than that. For Honda, the BD engine wasn't just a machine, but the heart of the car. Their vehicles were easy to drive, had smooth acceleration, and most importantly, were reliable. Driving a Honda wasn't just about getting from A to B, but about enjoying the drive. Gradually, this philosophy propelled Honda beyond just a name, and it became synonymous with quality. Today, Honda is one of the world's largest engine manufacturers. Whether it's a motorcycle, a car, an airplane, or a Formula One car racing on the track, Honda engineering can be found everywhere. There was a time when one man worked alone with his hands, covered in grease, and today that same vision has become a global force. This is why the Honda name carries so much weight in the automotive world. Every year Honda sells millions of cars, making it one of the world's largest car companies. But Honda's true identity isn't just about sales figures. Their strength lies in building cars that run for years without any fuss, incorporating practical technology, and providing a seamless driving experience. Honda doesn't overcomplicate things, and perhaps that's their greatest wisdom. The Honda Accord is a prime example of this. It's a car that evokes a sense of trust the moment you hear its name. It wasn't an overnight success, but rather a car that earned its popularity over time. The fact that millions of Accords are sold in just a few months of a single year is proof of why people choose it. People buy Hondas because they know the car will last them a long time. Whether it's their first car or one of several vehicles already in their garage. But Honda's identity isn't just about building cars that run reliably for years. Their true strength lies in their forward-thinking approach. While most companies are following the same path, Honda isn't afraid to try something different. In the 1970s, when strict pollution regulations were introduced in the US, many companies were struggling. Around that time, Honda introduced the CVCC engine, which easily met those regulations without any major difficulties. Later came VTEC technology, which demonstrated how to extract powerful performance even from small engines. This has been Honda's approach to push the boundaries a little further. Honda was among the first companies to introduce hybrid cars in the US. At the time, people thought eco-friendly cars meant slow and boring vehicles, but Honda changed that perception, and now the company is at another turning point. This is neither a fully hybrid nor a typical electric car. It's a step in a different direction. Honda believes that the story of the internal combustion engine is not over yet. According to them, with the right technology, engines can still be useful and necessary. This thinking has led to a new idea: hydrogen. While it may sound new, Honda is taking it seriously. The question arises when the whole world is moving towards EVs. Why is Honda going down this path? The answer is simple: because they don't believe in being part of every crowd. On one hand, there are electric cars, which once seemed like something out of science fiction movies. No engine noise, no smoke, just plug in and go. Today, EVs are a common sight on every road. Cars with large screens, charging stations, and the concept of charging your battery while sipping coffee have become commonplace. This change didn't happen gradually, but spread very rapidly. Governments also accelerated this change. Tax breaks, subsidies, and various benefits were added to encourage people to move away from petrol and diesel vehicles. Some countries have even explicitly stated that the era of petrol and diesel cars will end in the next 1,015 years. In this environment, Honda's hydrogen initiative stands out. And perhaps that's what makes it worth understanding. As discussions about climate change intensified, electric vehicles also began to receive strong support. Suddenly, EVs were not just a new trend, but seemed like the only right path. Batteries improved, charging times decreased, and the idea of a quiet car, which people once mocked, became something people appreciated. The situation has reached a point where people are waiting in line to buy EVs. Today, almost every major car company, whether it's Ford or Hyundai, is rapidly launching electric models as if they were launching a new smartphone. EVs are often touted as a symbol of a cleaner and better future. But there's another side to the picture that is usually less discussed. First, let's talk about batteries. Batteries don't last forever. They are heavy and contain materials like lithium and cobalt, which are not easy to extract. Their mining can harm both land and water. And when a battery reaches the end of its lifespan, its disposal becomes a major problem for which a clear solution has not yet been found. Then there's the charging problem. Filling up with petrol takes 5 minutes, but charging a car can take hours, especially if there's no fast charger nearby. Even with a full battery, there's a lingering fear. Will I be able to reach home without stopping? This anxiety is amplified on long journeys where charging stations are few and far between. Cost is also a major concern. Despite government subsidies, EVs are not cheap. While charging may seem affordable today, when most people rely on electricity simultaneously, bills are bound to increase. Therefore, EVs are not as perfect as they seem from the outside. The real challenge is not just replacing petrol with electricity, but creating a system that is truly clean and works for everyone in the long run. With this in mind, while other companies are rushing into the electric vehicle race, Honda is taking a step back to think. They want to avoid long charging times, increasing battery waste, and growing dependence on rare earth metals. Their approach is neither fully electric nor the old petrol-based one. It's a thumb middle ground, a sensible alternative, hydrogen-based technology which runs on the lightest and most abundant element. The biggest advantage of hydrogen is that when it's used, nothing dirty is emitted. No smoke, no smell, just clean water. Honda believes that if we are to truly create clean vehicles, hydrogen can be a strong option. And this isn't a sudden idea. Honda has been working on this technology for a long time and is gradually preparing it for the real world. In 2015, Honda showcased a car that looked like it came from the future. It didn't require much petrol, nor did it need to be plugged into a charger. This car was called the Honda Clarity Fuel Cell. It was unveiled at the Tokyo Motor Show, and the special thing was that it wasn't just a showpiece. People in Japan could actually buy it. This became the country's first hydrogen car to reach ordinary customers. The Clarity wasn't just different in appearance. It felt different to drive as well. It wasn't a modified version of an existing car, but rather designed from the ground up with hydrogen in mind. The technology used inside efficiently and effectively utilized hydrogen. Despite such advanced technology, the Clarity didn't achieve the success Honda had hoped for. The problem wasn't with the car, but with the environment. Hydrogen refueling stations were few and far between. Unless you lived in certain areas of California or Japan, finding fuel was a challenge in itself. Going on a long drive meant constantly wondering where the next station would be. Most people didn't want a vehicle that would cause them trouble along the way. There was another problem: people's perception. The mere mention of hydrogen seemed complicated and intimidating to many. In contrast, electric cars seemed simple. Plug in, charge, and go. EVs gained momentum. Big names began driving them. Governments offered rebates and subsidies, and charging stations began appearing everywhere. Hydrogen cars didn't receive the same support. No publicity, no significant benefits, and no significant effort to convince people. The result was that despite its engineering prowess, the Clarity failed to become a popular choice. Ultimately, in 2021, Honda decided to discontinue it along with its other variants. But that didn't mean the hydrogen story ended there. In fact, Honda learned a lot from this project. Most importantly, it proved that hydrogen fuel cell vehicles can run and be reliable. The problem wasn't the technology, but the timing. The world wasn't ready for that change. So, Honda didn't rush. They took a step back, watched the EV wave grow, and let it take its course. Meanwhile, they quietly continued working on hydrogen, improving the technology. Giving up was never an option. Now, Honda is back in the fray, and this time with a strong partner, General Motors. Together, they are working on new technologies that can address the Clarity's previous shortcomings. More range, better systems, and a platform that people already trust and recognize. Now, meet the new twist in this story, the CR-V Hydrogen SUV. This isn't a minor facelift or just a new variant. Honda has made a comeback this time, and with full preparation. It's the same CR-V that people have known and loved for years. Only the concept inside has completely changed. With this model, Honda is clearly signaling that EVs aren't the end-all be-all. After their experience with the Clarity, Honda realized the technology must be as easy to use as it is to use. So, this time they chose a large, functional, and reliable SUV. Developed in collaboration with General Motors, the CR-V Hydrogen addresses the shortcomings that were previously identified. The goal is clear: to deliver a vehicle that fits into everyday life and serves as a solid alternative to electric vehicles. From the outside, it looks just like a regular CR-V, perfect for families, comfortable, and instantly recognizable. But the story inside is different. It has neither a petrol engine nor a large battery that needs hours of charging. This SUV runs entirely on hydrogen. 2 high-pressure hydrogen tanks are fitted at the rear, designed to be both safe and space-efficient. A fuel cell system located under the seats generates electricity on the go, powering the vehicle smoothly. Performance and safety have both been prioritized. The biggest advantage of this CR-V is that you don't need to look for charging points. Just fill up with hydrogen and go. Hydrogen and air combine inside the vehicle to generate electricity, and only water vapor is emitted. No smoke, no pollution for you. This means more convenience and less hassle. Refueling takes 3 to 5 minutes, just like petrol. Once the tank is full, this SUV can travel long distances without worrying about finding a charging station along the way. This is a huge relief for daily drivers. And that's not all. The CR-V Hydrogen SUV can also share its power when needed. For example, if there's a power outage at home, this vehicle can power essential appliances and keep your phone or other devices charged. The CR-V offers the same familiar feel that people have loved about this SUV for years. The interior is spacious, comfortable for family trips, and stylish. The hydrogen system has been integrated so cleverly that it doesn't compromise on trunk space. Whether it's groceries, suitcases, or children's sports gear, there's just as much space as before. It feels like this technology wasn't shoehorned in, but rather designed for this vehicle from the start. Honda isn't rushing the launch either. They're starting in areas where hydrogen fueling stations are already established, such as California and Japan. This eliminates the worry for drivers about finding fuel along the way. As more stations open, the CR-V will be introduced to new regions. Honda's focus is not on rapid expansion, but on doing things the right way. This calm and well-considered decision is what sets it apart. There's no flashy marketing here, just clear planning and strong partnerships. And perhaps that's why this SUV is emerging as a serious contender in the world of electric vehicles. While other companies are focused on bigger batteries and even faster charging, Honda is already delivering refueling in minutes, a long driving range, and zero-emission driving, all in a reliable, familiar SUV. Now, imagine if the CR-V hydrogen is this capable today. What will the picture look like when Honda incorporates this technology into its other vehicles in the future? For a long time, the biggest obstacle to hydrogen cars was the lack of refueling infrastructure. Vehicles like the Clarity were technologically ready and perfectly capable on the road. But the absence of stations made people hesitant to adopt them. This single deficiency held back the hydrogen dream for a long time. But now things are changing rapidly. Hydrogen stations are increasing in the US, especially in California. Other states are also watching closely and preparing. Japan has made hydrogen a key part of its energy policy. Germany is building a hydrogen network for heavy vehicles. And China, the world's largest auto market, is investing billions in hydrogen for buses, taxis, and commercial vehicles. This isn't just talk or planning. It's all happening on the ground. Governments are no longer treating hydrogen as just an experiment, but are investing heavily in it. The reason is clear. Hydrogen is not only a clean alternative for regular cars, but is even more useful for heavy trucks, city buses, and public transport systems where long distances and heavy loads are essential. Refueling in just a few minutes, a long range, and no waiting for chargers to become available. These things matter a lot for large vehicles. This is where the picture changes somewhat. Electric vehicles may be very popular today, but their limitations are becoming increasingly clear. In many places, the power grid simply cannot handle the strain. In some areas, people are being asked not to charge their cars during peak hours. The problem is that the demand for electricity is growing rapidly, but new power generation is not keeping pace. Furthermore, EV batteries rely on metals like lithium and cobalt, which are not only rare, but also expensive and environmentally damaging. The supply of these metals is limited, recycling is difficult, and prices are constantly rising. As a result, EVs no longer seem as green as they were initially portrayed. Hydrogen avoids many of these problems. It doesn't put a heavy burden on the power grid and doesn't require hours of charging. It also doesn't rely on the rare metals that battery-based systems depend on. Most interestingly, hydrogen can be produced from water using renewable energy sources like sunlight and wind. This is called green hydrogen. Imagine your car running on fuel made from water and sunshine. No fumes, no pollution, no strain on the power grid, and no hassle with heavy batteries. Hydrogen's purpose isn't to replace electric vehicles. It's simply carving its own path. Long-haul trucks, city buses, and remote areas where building charging networks is difficult. That's where hydrogen becomes a more sensible option. This isn't a battle of one technology over another. Hydrogen is doing the job where EVs fall short. And the world is slowly starting to understand this. Stations are being built, infrastructure is being developed, and Honda's CR-V hydrogen SUV has arrived at the perfect time, just when the conditions are right. The future no longer seems distant. It's here and the roads are open. But Honda's vision isn't limited to fuel stations or green promises. They're preparing for something far beyond that. Behind the scenes, Honda is building something that's intrinsically linked to their true identity. Honda has always been a master of engines. From small mopeds to powerful racing machines, they've built engines that connect people to the joy of driving. Now, as the world slowly moves away from gasoline, the question is, what will the power of the engine mean in the future? For Honda, the answer is clear: hydrogen. And they're pursuing it not half-heartedly, but with full force. While most companies have focused solely on batteries, Honda asked a different question. It's still a story of performance, reliability, and that signature Honda feel. The only difference is that it's all being done for a cleaner, better tomorrow. While other companies are reinventing the entire car, Honda is reinventing the heart of the car, the engine. And they've already joined forces with the world's leading companies in this vision. The big question now is, can a hydrogen-powered CR-V truly compete with electric vehicles? Let's start with charging and refueling. Charging an EV can take anywhere from half an hour to several hours, depending on the charger. Meanwhile, the CR-V hydrogen is ready to go in just 3 to 5 minutes. This isn't just a convenience, but a game changer. In terms of range, most electric vehicles can travel 200 to 300 meters on a single charge. The hydrogen CR-V surpasses this, reaching nearly 400 meters on a full tank. This means fewer interruptions and less stress during a long drive or a busy day. And now, the most important thing, the environment. EVs don't emit exhaust while driving, which is a good thing. But the CR-V goes a step further here. Its fuel cell system emits only water vapor. No large batteries, no environmental burden associated with manufacturing or disposing of them. A clean, simple, and sensible solution. Honda isn't aiming to replace EVs, but the way the CR-V refuels, its range, and its low environmental impact certainly make it a strong alternative. While EVs currently have a lead in charging networks, and many people charge at home, hydrogen stations are rapidly expanding in areas like California, Japan, Germany, and China. Refueling the CR-V takes just a few minutes and doesn't put the same strain on the electrical system as high-power EV chargers sometimes do. Another difference is important to understand. EV batteries rely on rare materials like lithium and cobalt, which are both expensive to extract and harmful to the environment. Hydrogen fuel cells avoid this hassle. So, will hydrogen replace EVs? Probably not. And it doesn't need to. Even if it only captures a small share of the market, it can shift perspectives and inspire companies to develop new solutions. Honda's foray into hydrogen is part of this larger transformation. This isn't just a story about a new car, but a glimpse into the direction in which countries and companies are heading to find the cleanest and most efficient energy sources for the future. EVs are a part of this journey, not the complete answer. The clean energy race is heating up, and this competition is driving the development of new and better ideas. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more easy-to-understand yet insightful analyses. Don't miss the next video. See you there.